Meta AI is the personal AI to help you with whatever you need. Plus, it meets you where you are. Not only is Meta AI now an app, but it's also on the apps you already know and love: Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, and Messenger. Plus the Ray-Ban Meta glasses. It's easy to access wherever you are. So whether you're talking or texting, Meta AI is convenient to use throughout your day. Experience our newest AI that's tailored to you by downloading the Meta AI app. Try the Meta AI app today on the Apple App Store and Google Play.
Welcome to the Dr. Sky Experience, heard exclusively here on Talk Radio 77 WABC. As we like to say, and others agree, WABC, the crown jewel of radio, heard in 173 countries and all 50 states, beaming out of New York City, the nation, the world, and out to the cosmos. And we're here to listen to the entire Dr. Sky archive. Thank you for visiting us at WABCRadio.com and also RedAppleAudioNetworks.com. The Dr. Sky Experience, a show heard on WABC Friday night midnight into Saturday morning and Saturday night midnight into 2 a.m. Sundays, as you tell us with great information from the realms of astronomy, space, aviation, and weather. Stories of American exceptionalism, celebrity guests in the mix, and current news topics that, of course, affect you and everyone here on planet number 3. Welcome to the skies of July 2025. Happy Independence Day as the nation moves on to nearly 250 years of freedom and independence under our constitutional republic. As we move into the month of July 2025, we begin with Earth's nearest neighbor, the moon. And we find out, ladies and gentlemen, that the moon begins its phases starting on the 1st of July, a newly first quarter moon that occurs on Wednesday, the 2nd. Then the moon continues to wax. We call that a gibbous moon because it looks egg-shaped or elliptical. Not anything unusual, but then the moon moves on to its beautiful full phase of July. That happens officially on July the 10th at 4:37 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. So when you see the moon rising on that date of Thursday, July the 10th, know that you're seeing a moon that is literally just out of its 100% fullness, a most fascinating sight indeed. The July full moon is sometimes known as the full thunder moon, sometimes known as the full buck moon. But we find out so many interesting things that you can see. If you have a pair of binoculars within the sound of my voice, don't forget you can always email me at drsky, Dr. Sky at wabcradio.com. But a pair of binoculars will probably suffice if you live in somewhat darker skies. City dwellers, don't hang up yet because there's lots to see too. We move on then with the moon's phases for the month of July. After the 10th, the moon continues to wane. It reverses itself as far as its visibility, one side meaning in the dark and the other side in the light. That is a waning gibbous moon. Last quarter moon rising near midnight local time on the 17th, and then in Dr. Sky's opinion, the best time to view faint sky objects would more likely be in the evening skies after about July 18th. New moon, the time when the moon is not visible, and for those of you that are not big fans of a bright moon and want dark skies, the new moon occurs on the 24th of July. So keep your eyes peeled to the skies because we'll talk about many, many things that you can see. But let's talk about planets. The Greek word is planeteos. That means and translates to wandering stars. Yes, even the ancients knew that these objects in the heavens were not always fixed. And a long time ago, we had to believe, at least that through theocracy and different theologies, that the earth was naturally the center of the universe. And it took people like Galileo and Copernicus to prove otherwise, that the sun is at the center, and us, we, and all the other 7 planets, as we call them now. Poor Pluto got demoted. So let's go back and say that all these objects move around the sun, no doubt about it. So let's talk about planets. In the evening sky, the planet Mercury stands at its best by July the 4th, some 26 degrees away from the setting sun. Look to the northwest, the object is very difficult for many people to even see, because Mercury never gets farther than about 25 or 26 degrees away from the sun, either in the morning or evening sky, thus an inferior planet, meaning closer in, than we are to the sun. Venus also exhibits the same irregularity when it's visible some 47 degrees away from the rising or setting sun at its best. So look for Mercury if you've never seen it. The morning sky, of course, continues with many planets, but one other planetary object that's still in the evening sky, rather faint, is the red god of war, the planet Mars. And you can see that still high up into the northwestern sky as the sun sets now later and later as we move into what? Some shorter days, believe it or not. The longest days occur just after the 21st of June for the northern hemisphere, but you can spy on the planet Mars a few degrees to the left of the interesting, beautiful blue star in Leo called the star Regulus. Now that star is some 77 light years away, while the planet Mars is about 180 million miles away. And earlier in the month of June, we had a close conjunction. You could see the redness of Mars and the blueness of the star Regulus. But how about this for trivia? The star Regulus, if you could actually look at it, is an elliptically shaped star. Why? Nobody knows, but its fast rotation probably puts it into an egg-shaped phase, much, much larger than our star, the Sun. So let's move to the morning sky. The major planets in the morning sky that can be seen is Venus, undoubtedly the most brilliant object ahead of the Sun that you can see if you look into the northeast sky in these early July mornings. Pay attention if you're a Western observer, particularly here in Arizona, where I'm broadcasting from. The summer monsoon may wipe out some of your early morning viewing and even late evening viewing, but don't despair. For other regions of the country, we're just dealing with a lot of heat. So Venus is an early morning planet, and then Saturn starts to return to the morning sky. You can actually see this planet if you take a look at your star chart, and I recommend people going to the easy printable star map from skymaps.com. It's free, it's useful, and what better than having something in your hand to help you navigate the sky other than using your smartphone? Because remember, your smartphone, when you light it up at night, takes away from the darkness of the sky, and it takes about a good half hour to get yourself light adapted or adjusted. Not that I'm against smartphones, but if you do use the paper chart, a red flashlight is recommended. Why? Red light does not inhibit the view of a a dark sky because of bright lights, so take advantage of that. And let's also talk about solar activity. Did you know that Sunspot Solar Active Cycle 25 is still well underway? And we've had some amazing sightings of the Aurora Borealis in areas to the northern latitudes, even way down into, say, even Florida. So peel your eyes to the skies, clear nights. Looking to the north, we may have some outbursts from solar activity, from flares, CMEs, and other solar events. Another thing for very high latitude observers, now we know this broadcast is heard around the world, so if you're a listener, let's say, in the northern regions, let's say northern Canada, Iceland, Norway, Sweden, and areas like that, there's a phenomenon in the summer skies called noctilucent clouds. Now I know I sounded like I made that up. Noctilucent clouds are the remnants of meteor dust, some of the highest clouds on Earth. And what they do, after the sun sets, they're still irradiated or illuminated by the light of the sun. So they have this weird phosphorescent blue color. So if you happen to see some of those, they're called noctilucent clouds. And also for some of our southern hemisphere viewers, let's say, if you're in the areas of New Zealand and Australia, even though you're experiencing winter down there, you still might be able to see noctilucent clouds. Let's move on to satellites. We get this question here on the Dr. Sky Experience all the time. What's the best, in our opinion, website to go and look and find what current Earth man-made satellites are visible? So I'm going to recommend, once again, proudly, Heavens-Above. That's heavens-above.com. Check it out. You'll be able to find passages of the Chinese Tiangong space station over your location if you put your location in, the ISS, the Hubble Space Telescope, and a plethora of celestial objects, man-made, which you can see in the nighttime sky. How interesting is that, especially during the summer months, if you're having an outdoor event with family and friends? Let's say you're having a barbecue or just sitting outside after dark. And you can tell them, you can be kind of like the genius among everybody there, unless they already listened to this report. And you can say, at such and such a time, out there in that direction, say the north or the northwest or wherever, the object like the space station is going to pop up above the horizon. You will get a lot of interesting looks, and you kind of been like a magician. Well, you can think of it any other way you want. Lots of information. Our producer for the Dr. Sky podcast experience is our good friend Dr. D, Richard Dugan. We appreciate his help. He's helped me in my broadcast career for well over 30 years, and we do thank you, Dr. D. So let's talk about some other interesting things that are taking place in the sky. How about this? A new nova, a star that exploded. It happened around June 12th, and it's a star in the constellation of Lupus. Where's Lupus? Well, first of all, it's a constellation in the heavens that's called a wolf. And if you look at it, it's right next to a constellation called Centaurus, and he's a centaur. Remember, like half man and half animal. And the constellation Lupus, the wolf, is also sometimes referred to in antiquity as the mad dog. What's that? It has the head of a monster or a human-like figure and the body of an animal. So what's the story on the nova? Back on June 12th, and a star exploded in that part of the sky. The news media gets it wrong, in my opinion. But if you look into that area of the sky on your star chart, and I do recommend you Googling this, because people out there who have more sophisticated experience, the object is not naked eye bright. Southern observers in southern latitudes like Phoenix and, let's say, Texas, Florida, California, southern, you may get to see this small little object. So I recommend you do this. Just Google the following information: Nova Lupi, L-U-P-I 2025, for all you sophisticated observers out there that use right ascension and declination, and you know what I mean. But for everybody else, hopefully the news media will get this right. A real beautiful nova would have been in that region. How about this? In the year 1006 AD, almost the exact location where this Nova Lupi is, 2025, the most brilliant supernova that was recorded, at least in recorded history, happened back in May of 1006 AD, right near that location on the star chart. It was so bright. How bright was it? A full moon is magnitude -12. The higher the negative number, the brighter the object. The sun is -26. This one topped Venus by many, many times, by -7.5. So allegedly, civilizations back then, particularly here, let's say in Arizona, Native American cultures around the world, into the equator, and maybe into the central part of the United States and other areas of latitudes around +30 or less, this object would have cast shadows and was in the sky. What's interesting, the brightest of all supernova happened, at least in recorded history, in May of the year 1006 AD. Interestingly, one more time, close to where Nova Lupi is, 2025. Questions and comments, it's drsky@wabcradio.com. And we appreciate, ladies and gentlemen, all of you out there as we celebrate America's next birthday, coming up soon to the 250th anniversary of the United States of America. We talk about American exceptionalism, and we also say this: God bless America and all of our people around the world that are supporting our freedom. The term isn't always democracy, it's our constitutional republic. Clear skies and good health.